Sergeant James Harris surveyed the devastated skyline of the once prosperous city. The skyscrapers were now concrete skeletons, shrouded in a gray haze that hung over the apocalyptic landscape. The streets, once full of life, were now empty except for debris and the distant groans of zombies. James was a decorated soldier, used to challenges, but nothing had prepared him for this. He remembered the beginning of the epidemic, when the dead rose and began to hunt the living. His military base had been invaded, his colleagues transformed into monsters, hungry for human flesh. He had become one of the few survivors, fighting to escape. Now he was alone, wandering a land of desolation. His worn military uniform was a constant reminder of his old life, a life that seemed to belong to another era. He carried a backpack with meager supplies and a gun with limited ammunition. The only thing that kept his sanity was the hope of finding other survivors. In his travels, James learned to avoid cities. They were veritable death camps, full of zombies in search of fresh prey. He preferred the roads less traveled, where the chances of finding food were slim, but so were the chances of encountering hordes of the undead. One afternoon, while walking through a dark forest, James heard a strange noise. He stopped, alert. The silence that followed was deafening, until a distant groan broke the stillness. He hid among the trees, watching carefully. A group of survivors appeared, all carrying makeshift weapons. They exchanged wary glances before noticing each other's presence. Among them, a brave woman named Elena stood out. She was a born leader, a warrior in a new era. James decided to reveal himself, suspicious but eager for any sign of humanity. After a cautious exchange of words, the sergeant joined the group of survivors. Elena explained that they were on their way to a supposed safe zone, where rumors said that a resistance was forming to fight the zombie plague. Together, the group faced unimaginable challenges. Every step was a battle, whether against the undead or other desperate survivors. Hunger was constant, and trust was a rare luxury. However, camaraderie began to form between them. James, who used to be the leader, was now learning to trust others and share the burden. As the group approached the safe zone, resistance became more apparent. Other people joined in, building barricades and organizing patrols. But with renewed hope also came increased challenges. The zombie hordes were larger, and conflicts with rival groups were frequent. James, however, began to question the true nature of the resistance. He realized that despite fighting a common enemy, the people within the safe zone were far from united. Distrust and greed began to undermine the integrity of the resistance. One night, while patrolling the borders of the safe zone, James witnessed something that made him question his own beliefs. He saw members of the resistance abandoning a group of survivors, leaving them at the mercy of the zombies. The idea of sacrificing some to save many haunted James's morals. Determined to maintain his humanity, James confronted the resistance leaders. His loyalty to the cause was put to the test when he found himself at odds with the brutal decisions being made in the name of survival. He knew it was time to make a difficult choice. James decided to leave the safe zone, refusing to become part of a resistance that sacrificed humanity in search of survival at any cost. With a heavy heart, he said goodbye to Elena and the others, knowing that the world outside was merciless. The sergeant continued his lonely journey, now not only fighting the undead, but also human nature corrupted by desolation. He became a wanderer, witnessing destruction and hope interspersed, always remembering that even in the midst of darkness, true strength lies in the preservation of humanity.